welcome or welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. Well, we collective, I just did not see this coming, and I think they snuck this upon me because I just wouldn't have been ready. And I've had a very interesting time connecting with Michael's energy, and I feel like I've learned a lot personally about what has been happening here, and it's helped me put some aspects of all of this together, a much deeper understanding for myself on my personal journey, but also to help me understand and see some aspects of this expression that I feel is still plaguing this world, but in a very interesting way. And I think that we are starting to be able to pull back many more layers so that we can see everything a lot clearer, everyone. I want to say that we are in very interesting times. There is a lot that is happening at any given moment. So please go easy, please go well, please make sure that you are looking after yourself at this present given time, because there is a lot that can be shifting in your frequency. And I want to say, there is a strong energy of allowing for yourself to truly dive in, and specifically now, those that have been seeking for a space of expanse, now is the time to be really tuning within. So I want to say happy 11/11 portal day. So I'm not surprised that the final message comes today from MJ, from Michael, a fractal of their energy. I channeled this for you all this morning, and I want to say that I feel like there is a lot more that they wish to be bringing forward, but I think it's going to be in a very different way. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of the Galactic Alliance once again, everyone. So I'm grateful for where we are heading, if I'm perceiving everything that I'm getting as a message behind the scenes right and correctly at this time. I think there are some aspects of all of this that is going to tie the Light Renegades off into a very tight little bow for us all to be moving on within our own personal journeys and our own personal expression. So thank you all for those that have been from right at the beginning of all of this journey. All of us Light Renegades couldn't be more grateful for you all. And I feel like I really understand and I see the part that we've played in the tapestry of where we find ourselves now. And a lot of things that I look back on now have completely shifted in understanding, in vibration. I'm still in multiple spaces of realities right now, everyone. So I want to say, be mindful. I'm going to be sharing an energetic update video for you all today, just to share some incidences and expressions that I've been receiving behind the scenes that I think might be helpful for some of the collective. So please do look out for that. I'm going to tag that in the description below if you don't happen to catch this in real time, everyone. But I'm going to hop right in and share the message from this morning from MJ, from Michael, which was titled The Last. And they started with, "Thank you all for your time and your connection. This will be my last message, although I know many of you will see me and understand my energy now that you truly know me. I hope that you can all come to more conclusions in your own mind with what I've shared with you all. There is so much of this world that is dissolving each day, so please be mindful. Be observant of all. It was only through my vigilance that I do believe that I was able to take control over some aspects of my life that they had no idea I would still be able to." And when they say they, we mean the negative reptilian order. And if you have no idea what I'm speaking on, I would highly suggest pausing here and doing a little bit more research before partaking in any of the content in the Light Renegade space. It is very negative reptilian heavy, so please be mindful when consuming with the massive trigger warning, everyone. But I'm going to continue. "There isn't much more that I can share that would be helpful to this collective. You all know the truth, so live bright and live life. Upon witnessing you all here, I think the biggest challenge you face is acceptance. Acceptance of all that is, yet still choosing to live on anyway. It is more important than ever to decide who you believe yourself to be. I knew who I was, yet my wounding made me shrink, maybe become a lesser version, yet in some ways wear a mask to help me push some aspects of me forward also. It is a weaving that you all face here, a fine-tuning and a balance that takes dedication, yet at times a free fall, a surrendering, and an unbridled running through the world with no care at all. Life is here to be explored, so please stop living small. If there is one piece of advice that I could give you all, it will be to live, and to live loudly. This doesn't mean by the acceptance of what others would perceive as loud. What is your level of loud, bold, and courageous? Most importantly, what brings you happiness, joy, and peace? You are here to experience it all, so make sure that you do. As always, I will be with you. Some of you have been experiencing me at a much deeper capacity, and this has been with divine purpose. Some of you are here to be in the spotlight, so buckle up. It will be an exhilarating ride. I didn't want to end on a somber note, but please know that I will return again when it is time. I will make amends at a soul center when the time is right. This another aspect of all that is possible. We return again to fight the battles which we played a hand in creating. How uncanny. Life is a mystery, a wonder, and I'm grateful that I was able to experience it through the eyes of this collective. It is a remarkable expression you have all created, and you should know that you are making a true difference to this world, living each of your lives, no matter how small that you think that you are. It is not true. It is not true. And you live, sorry, it is not true. It is not true. Your life and your love, sorry, it is not true. Your life and your love holds weights and it beams in volumes. Keep shining my bright lights until we meet again. And I feel like I'm just not able to bring this channeling through with the understanding of expression that it deserves right now, collective. There is a lot that is being pulled at me behind the scenes, so I'm really trying my best. But I think that we are in very trying times, and there is a lot that is being transformed at a very cellular level, so I feel very discombobulated in this space, and there is a lot within me that is dissolving within this Light Renegade space so that I can be on other ventures in other realms, space and time. So there is a lot that is shifting and all at once, so I want to say please be mindful, and I'm grateful for everything that we've learned through Michael's expression. I'm grateful for everything that they've been bringing forward to this collective. And it's interesting because I remember, and I'm not sure which channeling it was, that this idea of some being in the spotlight and buckle up because it's going to be an exhilarating ride really struck out to me. And this idea of us fighting as battles that we've already played a hand in creating, and how uncanny. And I think those words rang true with another soul that I think I'm going to be bringing forward again, which I just didn't expect. So there is a lot that I think is going to be shifting in your own personal spaces and expressions as well, everyone. And some of these things I think are in very subtle ways, and I think it's not until you start to understand the vibration of everything that you can see when a different energy, a different frequency has come into your field of existence and really shaped your expression. And it's interesting because looking back now in the Light Renegade space, I can see exactly where some energy seeped in to help me to truly understand what it means at a soul-centric space to be taken into the dark, and what that truly means at a soul-centric space to try and pull yourself out of that expression. And I'm grateful that I've had that time, but boy, was it a trying time. And I think that some of the collective are now facing aspects of yourself and soul and shadow that you are having to really work through at the deepest capacities. And I'm starting to see patterns and cycles repeating in other people's expressions and other people's lives that I've already gone through. So it's all starting to make a little bit more sense to me exactly where I've been on this channel, exactly through the, you know, accelerated expression that I've been through here, but also the twists and turns that I took throughout this entire time, and how this plays into the complete fabric of everything, the complete cycle of everything. And I want to say, you know, the infinity symbol of life and all that that means, moving from shadow into light, and from light back into shadow, and from shadow again to light. And I think it's going to be really important to know where you are at any given time. So please be mindful of your emotions, be mindful of what you are consuming, and be mindful of where you are in terms of your mental capacities and your physical capacities, and make sure that you are giving your body exactly what it needs and right now. And no matter how that looks to you, you know, trust in your intuition and make sure that you are listening to yourself first and foremost. I want to say that the collective well-being is all hands on deck, everyone, from all realms, space and time. And it's really time to really decide to choose happiness, joy and peace, and living life to its fullest. And it's such a paradoxical experience, because the more that you understand of these realms and above, the deeper and harder it is to stay in a reality that you know just isn't full truth. But it's about carving this aspect of life that is your truth and in your understanding. And that's exactly where we are right now, collective. And I know that so many of you in this collective have already been doing this for yourselves. But I want to say, have you really been living in your full truth, or have you still been hiding? And I found it interesting that Michael brought up this expression of, what did they say? It was an expression of wearing a mask. I knew how I was, yet my wounding made me shrink, become a lesser version, yet in some ways wear a mask to help me push some aspects of me forward also. And I'm finding it interesting stepping back into the world again at a much deeper capacity than I ever have before, and fully standing in my truth, because it does feel like you have to wear a mask in some incidences, and it is important right now to be a shapeshifter, is what I want to share. And, you know, specifically for safety, and I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about this in the most recent energetic update video. But I want to say, however you feel like you need to present yourself, trust in the energy, everyone. And I want to say there is no shame in wearing a specific mask if you want to step forward in a very specific way. And, you know, this is going to split the crowd with in terms of authenticity, but I think it's really important to listen to any aspect of you and what it means for you to step forward. And we can all wear a mask, so to speak, to help us push something forward, and especially if we're pulling out from the ethers and the beyond. So it's important to know your boundaries, know your levels of expression, and also know your capacities. I think it's about capacities and boundaries that I feel like I'm really working on behind the scenes in my own personal expression and understanding what that means, but also truly accepting this idea of acceptance, truly accepting where we are and truly accepting the truths of this world. And I've been sharing a few more videos in the collective and community space for all of you to be partaking in. It feels like I've gone right back to the beginning, everyone, of when I very first started to awaken all the things that I was looking into, because somewhere along the way, you know, you kind of switch off, you disconnect, because there was different aspects that you have to sink into, and specifically the life path that I've lived. But it's now coming back again full circle for me to delve in at the beginning of all of this and think, wow, yeah, it is a lot to take in, but specifically now. And I think we're having this final wave of beings wake up now to all of this and just going, oh my gosh. And I realize that I'm here to help mold that aspect of them to make it more malleable and, you know, something that they can manage for them moving forward, because we are in changing times. Everything is shifting, everything is dissolving, everything is collapsing in on itself. And this has been with divine purpose. This is what we've been asking for the longest time. But alongside this collapse is this expanse too that is happening. And I see where Michael's energy was bridging the gap between those spaces, and how they too, their life path that they lived as Michael Jackson was bridging that gap for us also. And I've never come across a soul that was able to hold on to the capacities of knowing at the deepest level that they have, and that just completely blew my mind. And you know, that is testament to how strong their soul is and how much that they did want to help humanity. And it's so strange, because it's like I can feel that there's a strain of them that completely had this sense of, I'm here for so much more, but I don't know what that is, and my wounding was holding me back. And it's interesting because, you know, I very much feel like I've been in this holding space myself, and not knowing exactly how I wanted to step forward, but knowing that I was here to share something else and something more. And you know, knowing that I'm stepping away from the Light Renegade space has given me a lot more freedom in that expression. And I want to say that however you wish to perform, however you wish to share yourself within the world, whatever mask you wish to put on to perform in this life, because it is a performance, you can still hold authenticity and hold up a mask to something, is what I want to share. And you know, this may sound like it's going against things that I've said in the previous weeks and the previous months, but it isn't. But I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in the recent energetic update video. But what I want to say is that Michael is very much here for those that wish to be connecting into their energy. And I know that some of you have already been connecting at a deeper capacity with them, and they are very grateful. They are very much here. Their soul will be returning again. You know, there are some things that they are going to have to atone for again in a next lifetime, that they are ready to, and they are ready to do that because of their connection with us also, collective. And I feel like that's been the thing that has been such a mind-blowing experience here, and just a really beautiful space for me to be able to see and fully witness this side, you know, of the camera, of understanding exactly where the Light Renegade space, all of you are, I consider to be Light Renegades at this moment in time, you know, for the entirety of this expression. It's an idea of that we created a container for others to be able to heal through, and we created a container for those really deep souls in this, you know, some real dark expressions, to be able to step forward and accept themselves, that they could heal also, to return again, to atone, to also help this collective, our community collective of the light and the highest vibration. So it's been a minefield. It's been definitely, you know, a real deep space of just confusion, I think, somewhere with all of this that is finally coming to light, and I'm grateful for that. So I hope that you can all understand the ways in which you've played a hand in this too, for the healing collective of all. But Michael is here to be connecting with those souls that still wish to. I know that their energy will be stepping forward with the Galactic Alliance and some more messages moving forward until we close off, everyone. So I'm grateful for you all here. I'm grateful for you all, you know, sticking this out with the collective of the Light Renegade space. And you know, please know that we have truly been making a difference, and I see and I feel it, and I'm ever more blown away and just ever grateful this collective has, you know, come to pass, come to be, because I know that what we've been sharing has truly been helping everyone. And I'm grateful to be in the position that I am, to have the connectivity that I do, and I don't take it for granted any single day. So to those that have been wanting to connect deeper, please know that you are in the capacities to be able to reach those aspects perhaps that you haven't reached before. And if you would like help in your spaces, please know that I'm still here to be working with one-on-one. Please do not hesitate to reach out. But that's all, everyone. That's the end from MJ, from Love, from Michael Jackson. And you know, it's interesting because I see them so differently now when I watch interviews with them and I listen to their music, but I think their soul always shone through and so brightly, no matter what they did behind the scenes, you know, no matter how treacherous the energy got. I know that somewhere in their heart, all they wanted was peace for all, and to just be able to shine their light that they knew that they had. And, you know, it's really painful to understand how in pain they was stepping forward. and you know how much that they wish to completely change themselves from their original form, and at least in this lifetime. And you know, I have so much compassion for them in their space, no matter what they've done. And I feel like that's a massive leap in consciousness, to be able to hold that compassion for a soul that has done, you know, pretty horrendous things, knowingly, unknowingly. And I think that's testament to each soul here stepping forward. So thank you, collective, for your light, for your love, because these souls have felt it stepping forward, and this has meant that this energy has been rippling out to the collective, and that speaks volumes, speaks waves, and we have been the beacons of light for a real long time. So I'm grateful. And yeah, it's about energy, everyone. It's about energy, it's about frequency, but most importantly, it's always about love. So live boldly, live courageously, live for the everything. And Michael will be back again when it feels in the right alignment with the GA, I'm sure. That's what I'm feeling, at least, everyone. But we'll see what happens. I feel like there's going to be a few things that might shock and surprise me before we are rounding out the year, everyone. But that's all for myself, from Michael Jackson, from MJ, from Love. And thank you again for all being in this space of expanse. And yeah, we're eternally grateful. But that's all for myself today. And Michael, return again when you feel called.